Meanwhile, well, this holiday season, many Americans are opting to gift their money to crowdfunding websites. Gofundme is one of those platforms. The company reveals that some 2 million people have started a GoFundMe page this year. It also says the number of people who contribute to their pages have in fact tripled. In fact, to date, the largest campaign of all time was to support the victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando 6 months ago. It has raised more than $7.8 million thus far. Joining me to discuss it all from Stanford, California, Rob Solomon, Chairman and CEO of GoFundMe. Rob, we very much appreciate the time. More than 25 million people donated to a GoFundMe campaign this year. What do you make of popularity that by any metric is on the rise?
Sure. Thanks for having me on. We're seeing a lot of giving this year. What's happening is GoFundMe's become a thing. It's an internet thing. Starting a GoFundMe happens when people react to floods and fires and when people need help. So we're seeing people coming together to help each other in unprecedented ways and in many different examples where people need help.
Yeah, I mentioned the Pulse nightclub fundraising. Again, almost $8 million raised to date. What are some other campaigns that have struck you?
Sure. So just recently at Standing Rock, we saw more than $9 million given to multiple campaigns there. That was a big phenomenon. We've seen people come together for floods and fires. So in West Virginia, for example, Brad Paisley's home state, he performed a live song on Facebook to get his community rallied around helping people who were affected by the floods. We have chance meetings of people in parking lots. So there's a really heartwarming example. A guy named Matt White was in a parking lot carrying his groceries to his car, and he was approached by a young boy named Chauncey. Chauncey just wanted some donuts. He was starving. And Matt said, "Hey, I'll buy you some donuts." And then he took him home, and he saw how impoverished he was living with his mother, and he started a campaign, and more than $300,000 were raised for Chauncey's family. So many examples like that all over the country, and in fact all over the world now.
What have we learned when you look at the cities and the states that where you see at least the most generous giving as it concerns GoFundMe? What have we learned about the regionality of charitable giving?
Sure. So charitable giving is universal. However, we've seen some interesting outliers. So for the most fundraisers in a state, we saw Las Vegas and San Antonio popping into the top 5 most generous states in terms of fundraisers started. So that was a big surprise. From the most generous states, it obviously maps to the most populous areas. So California, Florida, Texas, New York, those are some of the most giving states. Houston's a very giving city, which was a little bit of a surprise in terms of population size. So a lot of regionality is interesting. The South is a little bit more generous in terms of giving than the rest of the regions in the country.
How does the company ensure that the money being given goes where it's supposed to?
So these campaigns happen out in the open, out in the village square. So the first people that give to a campaign are the friends, family, and local community of a campaign. And then people start understanding who the givers are and what the campaign is used for. So there's a lot of community involvement that helps figure out where the campaign money is going. And then we have a lot of proprietary algorithms and software that we use to ensure that funds are safe. And we have something called the Gofundme Guarantee. So if any funds that you give are something that you don't feel great about, we'll refund the money to you.
GoFundMe has previously taken down, though, campaigns because of content involved. What is the policy to ending campaigns?
Sure. So we have a terms of service. If you violate any of those terms of service, we'll take a fundraiser down. So raising money for firearms and drugs and things like that are legal are not allowed on the platform. Those are examples of things where we'll take a campaign down if we see somebody try and do that.
Again, I should just note it is a good reminder as we approach the end of the year, not all donations made to a GoFundMe campaign are tax deductible, but all are certainly always made with the best of intentions. Rob Solomon, GoFundMe Chairman and CEO. Rob, thank you so much for the time and for everything your company's doing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.